Hello, my desktop publishing students. This is part 2 of the accounts receivable database. And remember, we just left off where we had cleaned the filters, and then I ran out of time that I was allowed. So now I want to go back here, and I want you to go to cell F4. So click in cell F4 here, and I want you to go to the Home tab, if you're not on the Home tab, and I want you to go to Conditional Formatting and say Clear the Rules. Okay, clear the rules. And we want to say, we could say from selected cells, and it would do that column, but just to make sure you don't have any left, I'm going to say to you, clear from the entire sheet. Okay, now note the red on Vancouver, Calgary, and Toronto didn't clear because that was not a rule. We just changed the font color, okay? But any rules we put in, they were cleaned off, okay? All right, so now also I want you to turn off your filter. So on your Data tab, go and click on the Filter button, and you've turned off your filter. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to set up a criteria range for you, okay? And then eventually I'll work into an extract range. But first of all, I want you to put in a new sheet. So go down to your New Sheet button here and click on it. All right, and double click on the name of it and call it Criteria. Okay, so C-R-I-T-E-R-I-A. And the reason that I like a criteria sheet is that this way, if you were to delete any rows or columns or anything on your database, you won't affect your criteria because the criteria are all on a sheet on their own. All right, so first of all, I want to go to View, I want to go to Zoom, and I want to put on 140, so again it's easier for you to read. Okay, so we've got on 140. All right, so now what we want to do is I want to go back to your ARDatabase, click in cell A3, hold down your Shift key, and click on I3. Okay, click on I3. All right, and I want you to go Control C. And now go back to Criteria and click in cell A2 for right now will be good. And I want you to go Control V. All right, so those are your field names. You never type them in. You always copy and paste so that there's no mistakes, all right? Now, when we go to put in criteria, remember, if they're on the same row, it means and. If they're on this row and this row, it means or. So the first thing that we want to do is I want to put in a criteria road. So I'm going to click in cell D3. Now I'm going to put in a star, and that means I don't know in this address where the word road is, okay? It could be at the beginning, it could be at the end, it could be at the middle. But all you know is that somewhere in that address, road is there. Like it's railroad, river road, whatever. Okay, so roadhouse, so they're all different places that road could be, but it's in the address somewhere. All right, so now what we have to do is define the criteria, all right? So now click here in cell A2, hold down your Shift key, and click in cell I3, okay, A2, I3. All right, now I want you to click in the name box. Now, if you use the word criteria, then Excel recognizes that and will automatically know the name of your criteria range once you put it in. When we come to do assignments, I'm going to make different names for the criteria because I'm going to make you put more than one on a sheet. But in this example that I'm using with you, we're only going to need one, so criteria as the name is just fine. All right, so now we want to go back to your database. Okay, before, no, hold on. I want to go back, check my definition. Okay, so click on the drop down, go to criteria. Did the 2 rows and all your cell names highlight with road? Yes, so you know your definition is correct. All right, now go back to your database, okay? All right, so what we want to do now is we're going to click in your database here, and what we want to do is click on the drop down arrow, and you must select your database. It has to be selected or none of this will work. All right, so now go to your Data tab And this time you are going to go to the Advanced button, this button right here. And see, it says filter the list in place. That's what we want to do right now. All right. And now it tells you it's A3 to I-21. You can see the marching green ants, so you know that's correct. And here, criteria is automatically assumed. Excel put it in, so you don't have to change anything there. All right. All you have to do is say OK. And now, do you see all the blue records? They are the ones that met the criteria. All right. And we should have 3 and 2 is 5. Yeah, I got 5 records. So you know that you have found all the records that have, and look in the address, River Road, Panorama Road, St. Mary's Road, St. Anne's Road, Sturgeon Road. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clear. So here, just like you did before, but here's the clear button. Okay, so click on clear. And now all the records are back in your database. Okay, now this time we're going to filter the data to an extract range. Now, in the last first database that I gave you, I put the extract range down here in the bottom. This time I'm going to put it on the right hand side just to show you that you can do it in either place. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So now we're in your database here. I want to click on cell A3, hold down the Shift key and click in I3. And I want to go Control C to copy it. All right. And so now I want to go to M3. So I'm going to the right hand side and I want to go to M3. All right. And I'm going to right click and paste. So right click and paste. All right. So now I've put all of your field names over here so that you could see them. Okay. And that's going to be our extract range. Now it's still selected. So therefore, I want to click in the name box. And now the same thing applies here. If you use the word extract, Excel recognizes that word as the extract range. Okay? And I've got to miss a T here. Okay. Extract. So press enter. And now click in a blank cell. Click on your drop down arrow. Check it. There's extract. Did it highlight? Yes. So you have got it defined properly, and that's what we want. Okay, so now this time we're going to go back to the criteria sheet. Okay, so click back on the criteria sheet, and I want to change, I've got road there, but I want to add Manitoba. So I want you to go to province, go to F3. Now put in capital M, capital B. Don't put in the quotation marks. That was just me making it stand out for you. So key in MB, no quotation marks, all right? All right, so now we put it in there. Now this is a criteria. It has to read Manitoba and road. Okay, it's got to read both of them. All right, so now go back to your ARDatabase. All right, and click in your database and click on the drop down and choose ARDatabase. So your database is selected. That's right. So now go to your data tab, go to advanced. Now this time we're not filtering the list in place. We're going to pull the records out. In other words, make a copy, like they say, copy to another location. All right, so there's your A3 to I-21, and the criteria range is assumed here, and the same with the extract range. It's assumed here, M3 to U3. So you don't have to change anything. That's it. Now, if you couldn't see here, if you couldn't see that, then you could click on it, okay, and you could choose it. But most times you will be able to see it. All right, but just in case you couldn't, then you know what to do. All right, so it's got copied to another location, and so now say OK. And so now, this time, we have one record that meets the conditions, because they said it had to have road in it and it had to have MB. So even though we had 6 before, once we said, oh, you're restricted to Manitoba, there's only one with a road in it. All right, so that's good. That's all there is to it to do it, okay? So what I want you to do now is I want you to go back to the criteria sheet. Okay, go back to your criteria sheet. And now I want to take out this criteria. Okay, so I'm going to delete it, select it and delete it. And in D3, I want to put in star and AVE4 and star. So it says that AVE is somewhere in that address. Now, if there was a word like have or gave, it would find it, okay, in that address. So as long as it sees AVE, it's going to find it. All right, so now I want to go here to the province and I want to put in MB. Again, remember, no quotation marks, MB. All right. Okay, so now we've got, oh, but this time I don't want to be an and filter. I want to say or. It can have Avenue in it, or it can have Manitoba in it. Now, we have to redefine this. There's an easy way to do it, so I want to show you how. So go to the formulas button here, okay, and I want you to go to Name Manager. Name Manager. And now, do you see all your definitions are listed here? All right, so I want you to click on your criteria range and note that it says A2 to I3, but it should say A2 to I4 because it's an OR criteria. So as I've showed you before, click in here, backspace, take out the 3 and put in a 4. Now, when you do that, the green check mark comes on. So therefore, you click on the green check mark and it's now been changed and you can see that. And now click on close. All right. All right. Now check it yourself. Click on a blank cell, click on the drop down and choose criteria. And do you see A2 to I4 selected? Yes, you do. So you know you've done it correctly. All right. So if you didn't, then go back and redo your definition. Fix it up. All right. Now go back to your database here. Okay. And this time, and it should still be selected, and mine was, so yours should be too. All right, so go to your Data tab, go to Advanced, and you want to say Copy to another location. All right, and A3 to I21 is good, criteria is selected, the extract range. Now, watch what happens, okay, is that if you click OK, the extract range is going to overwrite everything that was there. So you always got to remember that, okay? And you click OK here. And now, this time, you have 3, 6, 7 with avenues in because it could be Avenue or Manitoba, okay? Avenue or Manitoba. So in Manitoba, you see a road. All right, so it found it, but it found also the avenues. And we've got, as you said, 3, 6, 7, and that's what we've got. Okay, so that's quite easy. I think by now you should be getting that piece. All right, click on a blank cell, go Control S to save your work. All right, I'm going to stop here because I need to start a new topic and I'm going to be out of time. So I'm going to stop here and then I'll come back with part 3. This was part 2.